Tonight, we report on how the examination of Wanapum Dam was delayed and how a man arrested after a standoff was out on bail and skipped his sentencing. What's happening in sports, Bob?
Ephrata Soccer drops a non-league match to Eastmont. Stay tuned to find out what happened and who the Tigers play next. Here's a look at our Weather Center forecast.
And here in the weather department, we are looking at a weak cool front moving on across. In fact, a little bit of sprinkles, even a flurry possible, but generally nothing terribly significant. And by Thursday, things brighten up.
I'm Alan Troop, and we have all this and much more on iFIBER 1 News.
From the iFIBER 1 HD studio here in the heart of the Columbia Basin, this is iFIBER 1 News. Your #1 source for local news, sports headlines, and our very own Weather Center forecast covering the entire Columbia Basin. This is iFIBER 1 News, and it starts now.
An examination of a cracked support pillar at Wanapum Dam is being delayed by a week. A crew from Spokane-based contractors Cooney Goebel JV needs to build a platform to complete drilling on a pillar supporting a portion of the spillway at the dam. The investigation was expected to take 9 days, but after initial drilling tests last week, the high winds made it impossible to use a barge to examine the damage. Grant PUD spokesman Tom Stredwick said the contractors will build a platform attached to the dam to continue the work. The construction is expected to delay the investigation by a week. The platform is expected to give the contractors the stability they need as they continue to investigate the 65-foot wide crack in the pillar. The Moses Lake School District addressed how they will choose students for the new Endeavor Middle School. Reporter Vivian Huang has the story.
Nearly 300 students from the Larson, Airway Heights, and part of the Cascade Valley areas may be attending Endeavor Middle School. The Moses Lake School District officials revealed their final proposal Monday about which children will attend the school next year. Transportation Manager John Eschenbacher said the conclusion came from a consensus that the new middle school should be a neighborhood school. People agreed at earlier meetings the district should use natural dividers and avoid sending children in specific neighborhoods to different schools.
We looked at the demographics too. When I said it's geographical, I'm saying that the numbers are based on this, according to our Skyward, this person lives here. So they should be going to this school. Are they? They may not be. They may have choiced, or they may be a special needs student who's sent to a different school or something like that. So that's where the geographic comes in. Was there demographics figured in? Oh yes, we looked at the demographics. In fact, at number 2, we brought forward about 4 proposals, I guess. One of them where we tried to bow the demographics down a little bit in the base, the number, and it was just to keep the base together and do that was not, we couldn't get them even with base as a full unit. So, but yeah, demographics were definitely figured in.
The proposal will be presented to the Moses Lake School Board on March 27th. Parents will be notified of the final district barriers after spring break, the second week of April. For iFIBER 1 News, this is Vivian Huang.
Thank you, Vivian. Sergio Herrera Giron was facing at least a year in prison when he reportedly hid from police in a mobile home for several hours. Herrera Giron's failure to appear at his sentencing hearing triggered an arrest warrant. Police were attempting to arrest Herrera Giron for the warrant on March 13th when he hid in his mother's mobile home at Harvest Manor Estates Trailer Park on Airway Drive, triggering a several-hour standoff. The 23-year-old Moses Lake man pleaded guilty to delivery of a controlled substance in early February. An INET investigation caught Herrera Giron selling heroin. The roughly 4-hour-long standoff began when police spotted him and he allegedly barricaded himself inside the home. After negotiating failed, police used 7 flashbang grenades and tear gas before entering the home and finding him hiding inside of a clothes dryer. A motion to dismiss charges against the Moses Lake security business owner was entered by his defense attorney, John Robert Abens, pleaded not guilty, and his attorney, Robert Kentner, states the man didn't break the law. Abens, a 55-year-old man, was charged in Grant County Superior Court with rendering criminal assistance in the first degree. Kentner argues in his motion prosecutors can't prove Abens is guilty of the crime. Chief Deputy Prosecutor Ed Owens responded by saying the facts of the case show Abens committed a crime when he didn't turn over a recording of video surveillance related to a November gas station robbery. Kentner pointed out Abens didn't become involved in the case until all the suspects were arrested. Abens didn't harbor, warn, or provide the suspects with any assistance and didn't prevent anyone from performing an act that might aid in the discovery or apprehension of such person. Now we take a look at people being sought by law enforcement.
Each of the people you see here has warrants for their arrest and is wanted by various law enforcement agencies. If you see any of these people, the Department of Corrections asks that you do not attempt to detain or apprehend them, but to call police. You can also call the Department of Corrections at 509-764-6180 during the day or 509-762-1160 after 5 p.m.
We'll be back right after this.